Hello all, welcome to Broadcasting and Streaming Technique session. This is Dr. Isaki Muthu. We will be discussing about DVB-T now. In DVB-T, let's start discussing about system parameters of 8 or 7 or 6 megahertz channel. It's a very important topic in this particular chapter. DVB-T system parameters of the 8 or 7 or 6 megahertz channel. This topic will be little longer, deeper. You have to be carefully listening all the points whatever I'm going to say. So here I will be saying about the system parameters of DVB-T in detail. That will be derived and I will explain in detail. So what are those system parameters? The system parameters are IFFT sampling frequencies. There are 5 parameters. First one is IFFT sampling frequencies. Second one is DVB-T signal bandwidths. Third one is spectrum occupied by 8 or 7 and 6 megahertz DVB-T channel. Fourth point is data rates. Fifth point is signal levels of the individual carriers. Okay, I will be explaining all these 5 points in detail. The basic system parameter in DVB-T is a IFFT sampling frequency of the 8 megahertz channel. So which is defined as F sample IFFT 8 megahertz is equal to 64 by 7 megahertz, that is 9.142857143 megahertz. From this basic parameter, all other system parameters can be derived. That is those of the 8 by 7 and 6 megahertz channel. The IFFT sampling frequency is the sampling rate of the COFDM symbol or respectively. The bandwidth within which all the 2K and 8K subcarriers can be accommodated. However, many of these 2048 or 8192 subcarriers are set to 0 and the bandwidth of the DVB-T signal must be narrower, very narrow, than that of an actual 8 or 7 or 6 megahertz wide channel. As will be seen, the signal bandwidth of the 8 megahertz channel is only about 7.6 megahertz. And there is thus a space of approximately 200 kilohertz between top and bottom of this channel and its adjacent channels. These 7.6 megahertz contain the 6817 or 1705 carriers actually used. In the case of 7 or 6 megahertz channel, the IFFT sampling frequency of these channels can be calculated from the IFFT sampling frequency of the 6 megahertz channel by simply multiplying it by 7 by 8 or 6 by 8 respectively. So for example, sampling frequency IFFT 7 megahertz is equal to 64 by 7 into 7 by 8. That is equal to 8 megahertz. Sampling frequency of IFFT at 6 megahertz is equal to 64 by 7 megahertz into 6 by 8. Simple as it is. That is 48 by 7 megahertz, that is equal to 6.857 megahertz approximately, right? All 2048 or 8192 IFFT carriers in the 8 by 7 and 6 megahertz channel can be found within these IFFT bandwidths. From these bandwidths or sampling frequencies, the respective subcarrier spacing can be easily derived by dividing the bandwidth, that is frequency sampling frequency, dividing the bandwidth by the number of IFFT subcarriers. For example, delta F is equal to sampling frequency divided by total number of carriers. So for 2K, sampling frequency of IFFT divided by 2048. For 8K sampling frequency, it's very easy to find out delta F. That is sampling frequency divided by 8192. So therefore, the COFDM subcarrier spacing in an 8 or 7 or 6 megahertz wide DVB-T channel is in 2K and 8K mode is given in table 20.5. Look at table 5, subcarrier spacing in 2K and 8K. So channel bandwidth is 8 megahertz, 7 megahertz, 6 megahertz. Delta F has been given for 8K mode and 2K mode both. From the subcarrier spacing, the symbol length delta T symbol can be determined directly. Due to the orthogonality condition, it is delta T symbol T is equal to 1 by delta F. It's a reciprocal. So therefore, the symbol lengths in the various modes and channel bandwidths in DVB-T are given in table number 6. Symbol duration in 2K and 8K mode. Okay. So look at that table. The DVB-T signal bandwidths are obtained from the subcarrier spacing delta F of the respective channel 8 or 7 or 6 and the number of carriers actually used in 8K and 2K mode. In 2K mode it is 1705 and in 8K mode it is 6817. So signal F signal DVB-T is equal to number of used carriers into delta F. Look at that now signal bandwidth, table number 7, signal bandwidth. Easily you can calculate. In principle, there are two ways of counting the COFDM subcarriers of the DVB-T channel. The carriers can either be counted through from 0 to 2047 or from 0 to 8192 in accordance with the number of IFFT carriers, or counting can begin with the 0 carrier number 0 at the first carrier actually used in the respective mode. The later counting method is a more usual one, counting from 0 to 1704 in 2K mode or counting from 0 to 6816 in 8K mode. Look at figure number 9. Figure number 9. The position of the spectrum of the DVB-T channel is shown there. And the most important DVB-T system parameters are summarized again. Look at that figure number 9. Figure number 9 also shows the center carrier numbers which are of particular importance in testing. This carrier number is of 3408 in 8K mode and 852 in the 2K mode corresponds to the exact center of the DVB-T channel. Some effects which can be caused by the DVB-T modulator can only be observed at this point. The values provided in square brackets in the figure apply to the 2K mode. So for example, you look at the 3408 in square bracket 852, okay, and the others apply to the 8K mode. So bracket, within the bracket it is 2K mode, outside the bracket it is 8K mode. The gross data rate of the DVB-T signal is derived from, among other things, okay, the symbol rate of the DVB-T COFDM signal. The symbol rate is a function of the length of symbol and of the length of guard interval. What is that? Symbol rate is equal to 1 by sum of symbol duration, guard duration. Sum of symbol duration plus guard duration. Take in reciprocal, you will get a symbol rate of COFDM. The gross data rate is then the result of the symbol rate, the number of actual payload carriers, and the type of modulation QPSK, 16 QAM, 64 QAM. In 2K mode, there are 1512 payload carriers, and in 8K mode, there are 6048. In QPSK, 2 bits per symbol are transmitted, and in 16 QAM, it is 4 bits per symbol, and in 64 QAM, it is 6 bits per symbol. Since the symbols are longer by a factor of 4 in the 8K mode, but on the other hand, there are 4 times as many payload carriers in the channel. This factor cancels out again, which means that the data rates are independent of the mode, 2K or 8K. The gross data rate of the DVB-T channel is equal to symbol rate COFDM into number of payload carriers into bits per symbol. The total length of the COFDM symbols is composed of the symbol length and the length of guard intervals. Total symbol duration is given in table number 8. Total symbol duration is equal to symbol duration plus guard duration. It has been given for 2K and 8K for different channel bandwidth. Okay. The symbol rate of the DVB-T channel is calculated as symbol rate is equal to 1 by total symbol duration. DVB-T symbol rates are listed in table number 9 as a function of mode and channel bandwidth. Look at the mode and channel bandwidth. Channel bandwidth is 876 megahertz. Mode is 1 by 4, 1 by 8, 1 by 16, 32 for 2K and 8K. Okay. The gross data rate is then determined from gross data rate is symbol rate into number of payload carriers into bits per symbol. The gross DVB-T data rates are listed in table 10 as a function of channel bandwidth and the guard interval length. Channel bandwidth and the guard interval length. The net data rate additionally depends on the code rate of the convolutional coding used and on the Reed-Solomon error protection RS. It is RS 188 or RS 204. So the net data rate is equal to gross data rate into 188 by 204 into code rate. Since the factor of 4 cancels out, the overall formula for determining the net data rate of DVB-T signal is independent of the mode 2K or 8K, and it is calculated as a net data rate is equal to 188 by 204 into code rate into log m to the base 2 into 1 by 1 plus guard into channel into constellation. What is that? What is m? M is equal to 4 for QPSK, 16 for 16 QAM, 64 for 64 QAM. Log m to the base 2 means for QPSK it is log 4 to the base 2, it is 2. And log m to the base 2 for QAM, 16 QAM is 4. For 64 QAM it is 6. The code rate is 1 by 2, 2 by 3, 3 by 4, 5 by 6 and 7 by 8. The guard band is 1 by 4, 1 by 8, 1 by 16, 1 by 32. The channel is 1 for 8 megahertz, 7 by 8 for 7 megahertz, 6 by 8 for 6 megahertz. Constant one is 6.75 into 10 power 6 bits per second. It's a constant one. So look at table number 11. Net data rate has been given for with a non-hierarchical modulation in the 8 megahertz DVB-T channel. In the 8 megahertz DVB-T channel. Table number 12 will give you for the same net data rate with the non-hierarchical modulation in the 7 megahertz DVB-T channel. Okay. So from this, the net data rate of 8, 7 and 6 megahertz channel in the various operating modes can be determined. The net data rate in DVB-T vary between about 4 and 31 megabits per second in dependence on the transmission parameters and channel bandwidth used. In the 7 megahertz and 6 megahertz channels, the available data rate are lower by a factor of 7 by 8 or 6 by 8 respectively in comparison with the 8 megahertz channel. In a hierarchical modulation, the gross data rates in 64 QAM modulation are distributed at a ratio of 2:4 between high priority and low priority path. And in 16 QAM, the ratio between HP and LP gross data rate is exactly 2:2. In addition, the net data rate in the high priority and low priority path depend on the code rate used there. The formulas for determining the net data rate of HP and LP are: net data rate for HP is 188 divided by 204 into code rate for HP into bits per symbol for HP into 1 by 1 plus guard duration into channel into constant 1. Net data rate for low priority path is 1 by 188 by 204, code rate for LP, bits per symbol for LP and 1 by 1 plus guard duration and channel and constant 1. So only the code rate and bits per symbol will vary. Where the bits per symbol for HP is 2, bits per symbol for LP is 2 for 16 QAM and 4 for 64 QAM. So code rate also been given for HP and LP 1 by 2, 2 by 3, 3 by 4, 5 by 6, 7 by 8. Guard duration is 1 by 4, 1 by 8, 1 by 16, 1 by 32. The channel is 8 by 8, it is 1 for 8 megahertz, 7 by 8 for 7 megahertz, 6 by 8 for 6 megahertz. The constant one is 6.75 into 10 power 6 bits per second. See in table number, I have told the table number 11, 12, 13. 11 is for 8 megahertz, net data rate for 8 megahertz. Table number 12 is for net data rate in the 7 megahertz, and table number 13 is for net data rate with non-hierarchical modulation in the 6 megahertz DVB-T channel. So this actually brings us to the last detail. What is that? The net data rate. That brings us to the last detail of the DVB-T standard related to actual field experience. The constellation and the levels of the individual carriers. That's the last actual field experience. The constellation and the levels of the individual carriers. Depending on the type of constellation, QPSK or 16 QAM or 64 QAM, or the hierarchical with alpha is equal to 1 or 2 or 4, a mean signal value of a payload carrier is obtained, which can be calculated simply by means of a quadratic mean RMS value of all possible vector lengths in their correct distribution. This mean is then defined as 100% or simply as 1. In the case of the 2K mode, there are 1512 or 6048 payload carriers into 8K, the mean power of which is 100% or 1. The TPS carrier levels are set in the same way, exactly in relation to the individual payload carriers. The continual and scattered pilots are differently arranged. Due to the need for EC detectability, these pilots are boosted by 2.5 dB with respect to the mean signal level of the payload carriers. That is, the voltage level of the continual and scattered pilots is higher by 4 by 3 compared with the mean level of the payload carrier, and the power level is higher by 16 by 9. 20 log 4 by 3 is equal to 2.5 dB voltage ratio of continual and scattered pilots with respect to the payload carrier signal average, and 10 log 16 by 9 is equal to 2.5 dB. That is a power ratio of the continual and scattered pilots with respect to the payload carrier signal average. In summary, it can be said that the position of the TPS carriers in the constellation diagram always corresponds to the 0 dB point of the mean value of the payload carriers, and that the position of the continual pilots and of the scattered pilots always corresponds to the 2.5 dB point, regardless of the DVB-T constellation involved at that time. Test instruments are often calibrated for carrier to noise ratio C by N and not for signal to noise ratio S by N. The signal to noise ratio, however, is relevant to the calculation of the bit error ratio BER caused by the pure noise interference in the channel. The C by N must be converted into S by N. When converting C by N to S by N, channel to noise ratio to signal to noise ratio, you are going to convert. When we are converting C by N to S by N, the energy in the pilots must be taken into consideration. The energy in the pure payload carrier without pilots can be determined as follows, both for the 2K mode and for the 8K mode. Payload to the signal, that is payload by payload plus scattered plus continual, into 4 by 3 square plus TPS into 1. That's a payload to signal. For 2K, it is 10 log 1512 divided by 1512 plus 131, it's a scattered one, and continual is 45. It has been given, right? So just substitute. 4 by 3 square is 16 by 9. TPS is 17. Just substitute it. For 2K, payload to signal is minus 0.857 dB. Okay. So like that, we can calculate for 8K, payload to signal 8K. So payload is 6048, scattered is 524, continual is 177, and then TPS is 68. Just substitute it, you will get minus 0.854 dB. The level of the DVB-T payload carrier alone is thus about 0.86 dB below the total carrier level. Mapping of the constellation diagram for QPSK 16 QAM and 64 QAM is another DVB-T system parameter. The mapping tables describe the bit allocation to the respective constellation diagrams. The mapping tables below are laid out with the LSB, least significant bit 0, on the left and the respective MSB on the right. Therefore, the order from left to right is bit 0, bit 1 for QPSK. Bit 0, bit 1, bit 2, bit 3 for 16 QAM. Bit 0, bit 1, bit 2, bit 3, bit 4, bit 5 for 64 QAM. So look at the table, okay? Figure number 10. I have given the QPSK table values, and then 16 QAM and 64 QAM. DVB-T mapping tables. So next session we will discuss about DVB-T modulator and transmitter.